2000 microgram LSD trip report, posted to the Psychonauts subreddit by IceDog 3 years ago. The time has come. I've been saving 10 200 microgram tabs just for today. I tested the tabs with an Ehrlich Reagent and Hoffman Reagent test. They were 100% good to go, and so was I. I placed the 10 tabs on my tongue. They were tabs with smiley faces on them. They were very thin compared to past tabs I've had, but the test came back positive, so I thought nothing of it. They were very large, so it was hard to fit all 10 on my tongue, but after I did, I snapped a pic on my phone and went downstairs to sit on my couch. I turn on Family Guy and go on my phone while I wait for it to kick in. A total of 10 minutes pass, and shit is already swirling. I look at my TV and it starts warping in and out. I sit back and enjoy the visuals. About 30 minutes pass of me just sitting on my couch. I go up to my room to lay in my bed as the body high was getting very intense. I lay on my bed and stare at the floor. The floor slowly begins to get covered in psychedelic symbols and patterns until my floor was no longer visible beneath them. I stare into the pattern on my floor and watch as it extends infinitely into nothingness, endlessly. 30 more minutes or so pass, and I want to get out of my bed to get water, but I'm afraid if I step on my floor I will fall through it into another dimension for all of eternity and never come back. My phone lights up, and I can barely make out that my friend is calling me. I pick up and we chat, and I start giggling uncontrollably. I'm not struggling to verbalise words at this point, and I explain to him that I can't step on my floor because I fall through it. He convinces me that I'll be fine, and tells me to jump with both feet onto the floor. I do so, and to my surprise, I'm on solid ground. I'm actually not falling. I start giggling in relief. I lay on my floor and talk with my friend for a while until I get back on my bed and lay and listen to my friend. He adds another person to the call, and they're at a party. There's too much going on in the call at this point, and I'm afraid my brain will shit itself if I keep listening. I leave the call, and my friend calls me separately. We talk for a little until I can't anymore. The body load is becoming too much, and everything is getting very intense, so I hang up. I stumble to my bathroom, which is right across from my room, and I get over to the toilet and attempt to throw up, but I can't. The nausea is very intense, but I can't vomit, so I get back in my bed. I lay down and decide to turn on music. I lay listening to it, and the euphoria begins to become outrageously intense. A wave of it rushes over me. It feels like a million orgasms. I look at my pants, and I see that I've fucking jizzed myself. I go and take a short shower to clean up. Felt like an eternity. I get back to my room and it's 8:15. I start wondering how that happened to me. What caused me to jizz my pants? And then I wondered who me was. What did me just do? I can't remember. Who is I? What's even happening? My head falls to my pillow and I pass out. There's an orb of light. There's peace and tranquility. Time stops. In fact, time does not exist at all. It's irrelevant. It's an eternity. Something comes and says something. A divine being of some sort. There is nothing actually there, but its presence is noted. It guides the orb of light to a web of thought and memories. Something's memories. Memories of sadness, despair, and locked thoughts. Tragedies locked far away so that they did not have to be remembered. Memories that the memorizer denies. But why are these memories being viewed? What do they mean? The orb then flies away, and so does the divine presence. But if those had left, then what is stuck here observing these memories? There's nothing actually here to view them, and yet they are still being viewed by something. All of the memories, bad and good, flash before the observer. The observer wonders what is being shown. It decides to accept these memories as its own. It takes them and makes them part of what allows it to observe. The memories stop. There is light, and I awake. I look at my hand. What is this? Where am I? I look to the right and stare at an object, an oval that reads 11:22. I stare at it, trying to figure out what it means. What is this object trying to tell me? What message is it trying to get across to me? Then all of a sudden, the oval changes to 11:23. I can't understand why it would change. This must mean something. Why am I seeing this? What am I here to learn? Obviously, the answer must be around here somewhere, wherever here is. I decide to forget about the oval to my right. It must not mean anything. I see a black object in my hand. I observe the object and find pushables on the side of it. Upon pushing one, a light flashes from it. There is an image and it reads 11:23. I look at the oval, which reads the same. As I stare at the oval, I see the glowing screen change. It now reads 11:24. I look back at the oval, and it reads the same as well. They must be connected. But why are they both displaying this? What could it mean? I stare and watch for what seems like forever, watching them count up. I feel I understand what the objects are showing me. They are counting up to something, but to what? The oval changes to 11:29 next, and I know what will happen. There will be an 11, 2, and blank, and then a random symbol after that. But, to my dismay, that isn't what happens. Instead, the oval changes to 11:30. I cannot comprehend this. I just spent my entire existence trying to figure out how this object works, and I was wrong. I had seen the 3 symbol before, though why has it appeared again? I look up and try to figure out what's happening. I decide this object means nothing, and it's just meant to mess with me, so I give up. I crawl out of this thing I'm lying in, and head towards a part of the wall that seems to be of a different material than the rest of the walls. A rectangle with a gold circle halfway down it. I head towards it and examine the gold circle. I remember seeing this in a past existence, perhaps. I grab it. It turns. The rectangle opens as I turn the gold knob and my heart drops. There is more than just this room. Across from me is another one of the rectangles, but this one is already open. I head towards it. In this room, I find an interesting item hanging on the wall. A reflection of sorts. A portal to a world just like the one I'm in. I stare into it and see a being looking at me. Or is that me looking at me? Nah, how could that be? Its body was covered with colourful swirls and psychedelic patterns. I notice writing on my arm and it reads LSD 2000 micrograms. My mind flashes. My memories start roaring back to me as I stare at myself in the mirror and begin piecing my identity back together. My life didn't start when I awoke on my bed next to that clock. I had a whole life before that, and I'm still experiencing that life. After being in my bathroom for an eternity, I finally figured out who I am. What makes me me. What me is. I feel one with all that is around me, and I can understand every object as if it has a consciousness and feelings. Each psychedelic swirl I can relate to and understand. I go back to my room and read the clock. It's 12:47. 6 hours and 47 minutes since I dropped, and I'm still tripping sack. The rest of the trip was very interpersonal and wasn't as mind-blowing as this part, so I won't write about it as this is already super long. I didn't stop tripping until 12 o'clock today, where I started to write this report. This much LSD was insane, and I cannot recommend anyone to ever do this much, but I also can't recommend against it entirely. It was insane, and I'm happy I did it, but I will never do this much again.